Hi, this is your quick, hopefully, um, recap of what's going to go on with the midterm. If you're looking in the activities bar under quizzes, this is what you're going to see. As I mentioned to you at the beginning of the course, you will have to have Respondus browser and Respondus monitor on your um, laptop in order, or on your computer, whichever way you're going, in order to take the exam. That was why I encouraged you to go ahead and download it, make sure you had it working right, because you don't want to start the quiz or plan to start the quiz, go into it and discover that you can't because the respondus isn't there. I have a practice quiz that is literally all it is you logging into it to make sure that your respondus is working, and I encourage you to do that. All right, so the midterm will be available starting on February the 13th at 6 a.m. That will be Tuesday morning. And you will have until February the 18th at midnight to turn it in, because I have to have them graded and your midterm grades posted by the 20th. So this is not something we got a lot of time to mess around with. All right, so the instructions then literally for this are, make sure of course you've got this. You're going to have 2 hours to take it, so you want to be sure that you start no later than 9:59 on February the 18th, even though I do not encourage you to wait that late. I encourage you to get it in earlier than that so that if there are problems, we can work on it. You will have one shot at doing it. So once you log in, you've got 2 hours. If you have to get out for some reason, you're going to have a really good excuse for me to reset it to let you back in, because the whole idea here is that you've got 2 hours and it will take you those 2 hours. You have 7 essay questions, 3 long answer, 4 short answer. They are all in essay form, and it will take you, if it doesn't take you the 2 hours, then it's going to be surprising, because it means you're not going to be doing very well. All right, so just to give you the general directions then for what's going to be expected on the midterm. For you guys, you may use your books. You may use your textbook, which must be either Von Sivers, Patterns of World History, the Bentley, Traditions and Encounters, or Strayer and Nelson's Ways of the World, or the Cordas book, which you can access online. I don't care which of those 4 you use, but you need to have one of those 4. If for some reason you have a textbook other than one of those 4, you need to email me as soon as possible with the complete information on it, including the ISBN number, so that I can look it up and make sure that it's viable. All right. You will also need to have access to Frankopan chapters 12 through 16 and the Harari chapters 14 through 17, because those are the secondary sources we've been working with. Now, when I say access to them, what I mean is you need to have some mechanism by which to get to them other than on your computer, because one of the things that the Respondus lockdown browser does is it prevents you from being able to go outside of the web browser that the test is in. So you're going to want to have them on a phone, or you're going to want to have them on an iPad or on something where you can get to them. I do not encourage quoting, because that takes too long. All you're looking to do is paraphrase, but that still requires citation. You must cite in the form of author and page number. Since it's only the authors that I know, then I'm not worried about the dates and all that other stuff. You want to make this as quick as possible in terms of citation. So you must have the author and the page number, and you must have citation. Don't think you can blow through this whole thing without giving me some sort of citation. If your Turnitin score matches to anything other than these sources, your entire test will be graded as a 0. Please pay attention to that. If the AI match is more than 10%, your entire test will also be graded as a 0. This must be your own work, right? All right, so as I said before, the test is made up of 7 essay questions, 3 of them long answers and 4 of them short answers. You must use historical examples from this course to support your arguments, which means that's what your textbook is effectively there for. I know that Harari in particular likes to throw stuff in from all over the place historically, but you need to be focused on the fact that we're in this course. So you want to try to make it as close to the information we've been talking about as possible. You also want to be very familiar with this. You will not have time to go hunting for information in your textbook or anywhere else. Be familiar with the material. That is the best way to have some sense of what's going on. All right. Since you can take it anytime between the 13th and midnight on the 18th, or as I like to say, 10 o'clock on the 18th, um, if you have a problem, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be accessible to give you a hand. So I encourage you, like I said, make sure that you've got Respondus Lockdown Browser working. Be sure that you know what you're doing with it, and that it's set to go so that and pace yourself early enough so that you're not waiting until the last minute. Because, like I said, I got to have these midterm grades in. I don't like the fact that the midterm is so early this semester. We're not literally at the midterm yet, but they want us to go ahead and get these grades in. So I have to give you this exam. And this exam is 13% of your final grade. Don't ask me for more time. There is no more time. You get 2 hours just like everybody else. This is a test of how well you manage your time and how well you know the material. There are a couple of extra credit questions. In fact, I honestly encourage you before you start answering any one of them, look at the extra credit questions, because if one of those questions looks like something that you think you're more comfortable and familiar with, opt for it instead of opting for one of the ones. Well, you need to do the required ones, but opt for it instead of doing some of the other ones. You plan your strategy, think about what you're doing, think about what you can best maximize your point values on as you go through it. You do not have to answer them in order. You can skip around. I encourage you to read through them all very quickly and figure out which ones you know you're competent to do easily enough or quickly enough. Do those first, get them out of the way, then go back to the more complicated ones that you're less familiar with. There's a strategy to taking tests, and hopefully by now most of you have begun to figure that out. If you have questions about the process for doing the midterm, email me as soon as you see this, right? So that we can go ahead and get this out of the way. All right, good luck.